get real-time Secretary of State data. So we offer real-time, as in whatever reflects on the Secretary of State, we are going to have it for you. We can even get screenshots. So that data will be there available as screenshots, documents where it's available, officers where it's available. We're gonna get all the data that you can get from the Secretary of State. We can get it. We have integrations into all 51 states. And when a business registers, when they start, they have to register their business. And the Secretary of State tracks things, especially, this is what most people want, is things like the status, like is the business in good standing? And this is to help them assess risk. The big things they're looking for are fraud. Is this business real or is it not real? We went through and we did a research project where we wanted to find all the different statuses that exist with the Secretary of State. We found 402 different statuses in all 50 states. This is kind of a big deal. Let's say that you, as the savvy commercial underwriter you are underwriting a business for a commercial loan, and you see the status come back from the Secretary of State as suspended. What does that mean? Is that a concern? Should you hold off on this loan when everything else looks great? Well, we're going to talk about this more in this video. So it's really important that you understand the different statuses that each Secretary of State provides and what they mean. Today, we're going to walk through the statuses specific to a certain state. Rhode Island's 11 business entity statuses you need to know. Number 1, canceled. The status indicates that the business entity's registration has been canceled, either voluntarily by the business owners or involuntarily by the state due to non-compliance with regulatory requirements. For lenders, this status suggests a high-risk situation as the business is no longer legally recognized and may have ceased operations, significantly impacting its ability to repay loans or maintain financial obligations. Let's proceed to number 2, conversion. This status is used when a business entity changes its type, for example, from a corporation to an LLC, through a legal process known as conversion. Lenders should be aware that while this status doesn't necessarily indicate financial instability, it may require a reassessment of the business's legal structure, tax obligations, and potential changes in liability, which could impact lending decisions and risk assessment. Number 3, dissolved. Indicates that the business has been legally dissolved, which may occur either voluntarily by resolution of its members or involuntarily by the state due to non-compliance. This status is a red flag for lenders, signaling the end of the business's operations and a high risk for any outstanding loans, as the entity no longer exists legally and may have limited assets for a repayment. Now let's proceed to number 4, revoked authority. This status refers to foreign entities whose authority to operate in Rhode Island has been revoked due to non-compliance with state requirements, such as failure to file annual reports or pay necessary fees. For lenders, this status indicates a significant risk, as it suggests the business is non-compliant and may face legal and operational challenges in the state, potentially affecting its ability to generate revenue and meet financial obligations. Number 5, revoked entity. Similar to revoked authority, but this applies to domestic entities that have had their business license or registration revoked due to non-compliance. This status represents a high-risk scenario for lenders, as it indicates severe non-compliance issues that have resulted in the loss of legal operating status, potentially impacting the business's ability to function and repay loans. Let's proceed to number 6, name reservation. This status means a particular business name has been reserved. The reservation holds the name for a specified period, preventing other entities from registering under the same name. While not directly indicative of operational or financial status, lenders should note that this status suggests a business may be in its early planning stages, requiring careful assessment of business plans and potential risks associated with startup ventures. Number 7, withdrawn. This status is assigned when a business formally withdraws its operations from Rhode Island, typically when it ceases to do business in the state or moves to another jurisdiction. Lenders should view this status as a potential risk, as it may indicate a reduction in operations or market presence, which could impact the business's revenue streams and ability to service debt in the state. Let's proceed to number 8, merged into an entity of record. This status is used when a business merges into another entity, and as a result, it ceases to exist as a separate legal entity. For lenders, this status necessitates a reevaluation of any existing loans or credit agreements, as the original borrowing entity no longer exists independently, and obligations may have transferred to the new merged entity, potentially altering the risk profile. Number 9, forfeited. This status often refers to the loss of the business's good standing due to failure to meet legal obligations such as filing annual reports or paying fees, similar to dissolution. Lenders should consider this a high-risk status, as it indicates non-compliance with state requirements and potential financial difficulties, which may significantly impact the business's operational stability and ability to meet loan obligations. Now let's proceed to number 10, expired. This status is typically used for businesses that have not renewed their registration or other required credentials and thus are no longer legally recognized to operate. For lenders, an expired status represents a significant risk, as it suggests the business may no longer be operating legally, potentially impacting its ability to generate revenue and maintain financial stability necessary for loan repayment. Number 11, revocation notice. This is a notice issued prior to the actual revocation of a business's status, typically warning of pending revocation due to non-compliance with statutory requirements. While not a final status, lenders should view this as a serious warning sign, indicating potential compliance issues that could lead to loss of legal operating status if not addressed promptly, thus increasing the risk profile of the business. All right, let's look at an example if we wanted to do something like this and kind of how Cobalt Intelligence can help you with this. This right here is an example using this API. Now, Cobalt Intelligence is an API first, where the idea is that you can get all this data via API and get it integrated right into your system. Let's say you search for this business, 199 Franklin RC in California. So we're gonna hit send, and this is what we get back. Now, the status is suspended FTB, and this right here, specifically for California, is the Franchise Tax Board, which means it's delinquent with its taxes in California. Not enough to be terminated, but enough to put it in suspension. So this is somewhat of a risk here. Now, this could be hard to go through because, like we said, there's 402 different statuses out there. So what you can do is use this normalized status, where we go through and interpret these things, and we mark it as inactive. And we're gonna put those as two different options. It's either going to be active or it's going to be inactive. And so then you can programmatically, as you integrate this into your API and as this is processing through your software, you're going to get a feedback that says, hey, this business is active or inactive and may prompt further note. So it can kind of take it down certain paths. Now, if I was building this, I would use that as, like I said, a programmatic decision maker and put it in the, oh, this needs questioning right here. If it's inactive, I'm going to automatically put this in stipulations where someone's going to have to go and follow up further. And then you could display this string of suspended FTB, and then your underwriters could go through and check it and say, okay, this is something we need to dig further into, and this, or maybe not, or maybe we just decline the file altogether. I hope this has been helpful for you to see how these different statuses in the state can really vary and how it can be different for you and impact your business. I invite you to try the Secretary of State API. We have a free trial that it comes with, so you can go ahead and try it out. We also offer paid pilots, so you can try out a big number of searches and see really if the data is something that can be helpful for you. I'm Jordan Hansen. If this has been helpful at all, hit that like and subscribe button. We will help you out with what you're trying to do. Thank you.